Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to today's cryptocurrencies update for Friday, April the 11th, 2025. We will cover Bitcoin, we will cover Ethereum, we'll also go over several altcoins like Binance Coin, Solana, Link, as well as Tron, and of course go over the miners Mara and Riot. I haven't covered Mara in a long time, but things start to look up also because that is the case for Riot. However, still no new bull run, so please hang in there. We believe the bull run is about to get started, contingent on holding above key price levels. But so far they are holding, and so far we are still hanging in there. So again, for Bitcoin, we believe it is in its last fourth wave with a final fifth wave to go. Alternatively, it is in a smaller fourth wave with a smaller fifth wave to go, then a much bigger pullback than we've already seen, and then a wave 5. However, all of this needs to fit into the time frame between now and the end of November, early December of this year. So that pretty much leaves us May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 7 months. And to cramp all this into 7 months is possible, but it seems more likely that we are in this wave 4. We get a wave 1, we get a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. So let's say the first wave will take 1 month, the second wave will take 1 month, the third wave will take 3 months, the fourth wave will take 1 month, the fifth wave will take 2 months. 1, 2, plus 3 is 5, plus 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. That will get us exactly to the end of November. So let's have a look at the charts. I'm going to start off with Bitcoin, and we're going to cover mostly Bitcoin and the other alternative counts, bigger picture monthly charts. So far we've only done a 33.1% correction right here in the ideal wave 4 target zone, and we still expect 166,000 to be reached by the end of this year, potentially higher. 166,000 is the 2.618 extension of wave 1 measured from wave 2. All right, so that's what we're still looking for based on the 4 phases of Bitcoin, and we're currently in the mature bull market. Previous fourth waves happens right here in the middle of the mature bull market. Previous fourth wave happened right here in the middle of the mature bull market, and here we are not even close to the middle of the mature bull market. So this correction can still last for another 2 months if it so desires. However, as you know from Colin Talks Crypto, we have now installed the M2 script for TradingView that he so kindly provided for free on X into our own TradingView. And here you can see in colored lines the offset we are using. So in red, we have an offset of 112 days, in blue, 98, and in yellow, we have an offset of 84 days. So meaning we are simply moving money flow forward in time. As Colin, and I agree with him, believe that it takes time for this liquidity to finally hit the markets, and especially risky assets like Bitcoin, which is totally, in my humble opinion, not as risky as most other assets. It seems to be quite a benign asset if you have a long time frame in mind. So which one is the correct one? That is always the case. Are we looking at 84 or 98 or 112? These are, of course, multiplications of 7. But what you can see here is, for example, the red line here peaks right here in January. That is the 112. The blue line peaks right here at the January high. So that matches great. And the yellow one could maybe be shifted a little bit further back, but you can see that one peaks there. So which one is the correct one? And we can go back in time. You can see sideways mess. Money supply was kind of constrained during that time. And here we then have another run up as money goes higher, and it doesn't match all the time. These correlations are somewhere between 70 to 80%, and we want to align, of course, this. You can again see quite nicely how this matches really well with right there. That's a little hard to see. It should be in white. And again, here we have this rally here, money supplied there, etc. It doesn't match all the time. However, it matches quite nicely. Here, for example, you can see money supply went higher, as you can see right there. Bitcoin went lower. Okay, interesting, right? So it doesn't match all the time, and that's just the case. Nothing works all the time. 60% of the time, everything works all the time. Here as well, you can see money supply just kept on going higher, but Bitcoin went lower, and etc. So there's fantastic relationships, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Here we have our infamous pick top in 2017, and you can see here coincides very well with a local top in money supply, but then the money supply kept on going and Bitcoin went lower, and eventually we got a little bit of a local top, and then money supply went lower, and of course Bitcoin went lower as well, and then money supply went higher. So you can see it works great, right? So this all works wonderful, then it doesn't. So are we now in a it works or it works not time frame, right? That's always the question. If it would be an exact perfect 100% match, boy oh boy, that'd be great. Now I know offset, it's fine. That's anywhere between the 98 and 112. 108 is not really a week. I think a week would be nicer. Just, that's how banks work and people work as well when they get their paychecks and savings. So, if you start zooming in here in greater detail, and there's always one top that aligns better than another top, I can go back to money supply and do a 0 offset, and it matches great with the 2020 low, but then it doesn't match much with anything else. So which one are you really going to pick? They've done correlations and found, I believe, the 108 to be most exact. So I'm going to use 112. Why? It is just a multiplication of 7. And you can see here, if we start zooming in on Bitcoin, let's get a little bit more pronounced profile in price, that we have pretty good agreement here with tops and bottoms, as you can see, right? That's pretty nice. That works really well. So now we should be starting in a phase where money supply is going to go higher. All right. All depends on which offset you're going to use, but regardless, money supply is going to go higher. 80% of the time, maybe 70% at best of the time, depending on which offset you use, Bitcoin will follow along, just like it did here, right? Just like it did there, etc., etc. Eventually, just like it did there, and again, just like it did here, etc. So we should expect, as you can see here, beautiful, right? It's really uncanny, actually, that we should expect a blast off with monetary supply. That matches, of course, our Elliott wave count. So onto Ethereum. Ethereum looks more and more like a massive bull flag. All right, so this is our flagpole. That is the wave 3 rally, this one. And then this is our flag. It's just a sideways consolidation, very long. And by the way, it can still go like this if it so desires, and then blast off. However, with this pattern, we know how long the flagpole is. Okay, the flagpole started here at the wave 2 low, which is 108, and ended at the wave 3 high, which is 48.65. And if wave 4 has completed, it completed at 1384. Make it 1385 if so desires. Now we add the length of the flagpole to that of the bottom. Okay, there. Now this is a log scale, so it's not, of course, in absolute terms the same, but that will get us to 6141. That's quite the gain. From current levels, that's a 400% increase. Again, we are in historical buy zones. I only have 2, and it's 2, so it's not much, but it worked here and it worked there. So why should it work now? And even here at the wave 2 low, pretty much right there, right? Very, very close. We got awfully close. So now we are getting to NS3 almost. And of course, look at these little ones here. So these ones. All of them still led to pretty decent gains. So that is our upside target, which is quite close to the 10,000 plus or minus 2,500 that we've had on the books for a while. So as long as we stay above the wave 1 high here all the way back in 2019, which I believe is at around 300, somewhere around there. I haven't really looked at it, maybe 400 or somewhere around there. We should be fine. Again, we can go all the way down to 800 for a simple flat correction. And that, of course, would still make for a nice bull flag pattern. So hang in there. So far, so good. There's nothing to suggest this is not the case. And if we go to 800, then we're not going to go based on the flag pattern to 6100, but to about 56, 5700, somewhere around there. Most of the time, these are minimum upside targets. Okay, I haven't done the Fibonacci work on it, but I want to see, of course, first a good impulse higher. How about Binance Coin? All right, so that was Bitcoin, that was Ethereum. I'm not going to go into the daily charts. We'll let those scribbles fill themselves in. Binance Coin has technically done 5 waves up from its 2023 low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So technically this has completed. If we break above the 2024 low at about 440, as you can see here, then I'm going to put a fork in it, similar to that of Solana. As you can see here, Solana went below its 2024 low. That means we're making a lower low from a new all-time high, which strongly suggests it has completed. We got very close to the ideal 300 target zone. This was our target zone. Got to 295 and declined very, very strongly. All right, 295, and currently we are trading into the 120s. So that is almost a 75% decline, something like that. We do expect a bounce now and then another decline, probably all the way back to the 2023 lows, somewhere in the double digits before we start a new rally. Okay, but that's going to take probably a long time. So the alternative for Binance Coin, going back to Binance Coin, is that the recent all-time high was not a wave 5, but a wave 1 of 5. And we're going to get a massively extended wave 5 of 5, all right, on our hands, which will target pretty close into the 1200s. It is possible, okay? Again, if we break below the 2024 low, this is off the table, because then the wave 2 cannot be there anymore, because second waves never go below the start of the first wave, which is the fourth wave low. Okay, so that's alternative. It is possible. I'll only really will be fully on board if we break above 800. From 800, we still have, of course, plenty of upside. So from current levels, you have, from a risk perspective, 500 to about 440, which is about $60 risk. And you have, of course, $700 upside reward. But this is very, very tentative. Okay, this is extremely tentative. I don't like it at the moment. I really have to see at least a break, I would say, above 700, maybe 740 to really suggest this is the case, okay? Like somewhere around there. So this is a potential. I am very tentative and hesitant on it. Certainly not yet there where I would say, okay, I'm going to initiate the trade. And Link has most likely, moving on to Link, done a irregular running flat second wave. We thought the wave had already completed in 2024. It seems like we have a ABC lower here, an ABC higher, and we should now do 5 waves lower for a regular flat wave 2. We bottom anywhere between $10 and $8, and then we get 3, 4, and 5. Okay, probably into, I would say, the 70s to 100. Contingent on holding, of course, above the 2023 low. And if we already start going below the 2024 low at around $8, it really increases the odds that we are not going to see in a higher high. Solana, we already covered that one. TRX, I haven't covered that one in a long time. Still in a long-term uptrend. I don't see anything bearish yet. It will have to break below 20 cents, which is clearly nice support to start to suggest the uptrend has ended. So far, so good. This can still putter on real nice with a potential for at least reaching 34 plus or minus 2 cents. This is Mara wave count. This is our preferred wave count. It's a little bit dicey here with the AB setup, but it works for a, I would say, double zigzag second wave in red. So as long as we hold, of course, above 698, we can now move all the way into the triple digits, possibly like somewhere around 120 for wave 3. Note this is a log scale. So though it looks like wave 3 is almost the same as wave 1, it's a log scale. So then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 1, wave 2, 1, AB, ABC for wave 2. And now, of course, we need to break above 32.5 to initiate the rally to about $65 to $72 for wave 2. 3, sorry. So from here, the downside risk is about $3, and the upside reward is a 10-bagger. Okay, so downside risk is 30%, minus 30%. Upside reward is probably 300%. Now, what did I say? From about 12 to 120, 1,000%. Okay, that's what we're looking at. So that is the upside reward, and this is the downside risk. And then it is up to you to decide if you want to take that risk, yes or no. I can't guarantee anything, but so far this is looking good, and I need a lot more data to really be certain and say, oh, how am I going to trade this? Well, start maybe nibbling a little bit. That's one way, and then start adding more when things move into the right direction and start raising your stops. That's most of the time the preferred way to go. Same here for Riot. Still have zero indication that a bottom is in place. We're still tracking this very protracted wave C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, this can go as low as $5. But if we are staying here at this month's low, we can still target 23 to 33, somewhere around there. That remains the ideal path. If we do go below the 2022 low, all bets are off, and we have to reassess our wave count entirely, though this still looks like better as 5 waves up, in my humble opinion. And then an ABC lower with the C wave subdividing. So that's all I have for this week. I think we've covered most in great detail, with some additional layers of evidence to suggest that we should hang in there, hang in tight, and we are looking forward to a blast off pretty soon, hopefully in line with the liquidity correlation that we found thanks to Collins Talks Crypto. And I do want to give credit where credit is deserved. Very kind of him to provide the free data. And remember, this data I have as well for our crypto trading systems, thousands of % of return. And do yourself a favor and install it. It is for sale for a very decent price. And remember, it costs money to make money. Have a great and wonderful weekend.